Hey guys, welcome to my second Scotty Moore lesson, this one being based around intermediate level, okay, if that makes sense. What I've done, I've taken the riff from That's Alright Mama, simplified it a little bit in a way that's going to be applicable to you to use maybe in your own stuff, in stuff that you might write or compose. So I'm going to get into a little bit of the theory, okay, but I'm going to try and keep it, I guess, as tidy as possible. We're going to try and flow through this nice and quick. Before I get into it, you can get the transcription for this by visiting the post regarding this lesson on my Patreon if you are a member. Now, if you're not a member, from just a couple bucks a month, depending on how much you love the channel and how much you want to support, you can join and you get access to those benefits. On some of the higher tiers, there's access to tone tutorials and video blogs, some behind the scenes stuff, a little bit more about my life, which you might be interested in, you might not be interested in. No problems either way. So yeah, definitely worth checking out. And speaking of which, I've got to thank Chris Hill and Felix. Guys, thank you so much for joining and appreciate the kind words from both of you. And also, huge thank you to Mike. You know who you are on the Patreon there. Recently joined as a 12-month member, so he's joined for the whole year on the top tier, which is a massive amount of support, and I just can't thank you enough. So, getting on with the lesson. So again, this is not exactly the notes from That's Alright Mama. It's an adaptation. Okay, so you may have seen the previous lesson where I talked about Scotty Moore playing the single line riff things, and I actually mentioned the F chord. So we actually start with the F type chord, but from the 7th fret, which becomes an A chord. That's an F chord, G chord, A chord. So 7, 6, 5, 5. Okay, starting from the 4th string there, barring those two strings together. That's our A chord. We start this riff that I've made here going 1, 2, just like that. 1, 2, 3, and. Okay, what did I do? I added the pinky. So when we add the pinky, make sure that pinky's nice and tall. So we're clearing the 1st string. We don't want to interfere. So I'm plucking all those strings, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st, just like that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm just adding that on the end of the 3. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then what we do, we play another A chord up here. So that's an A chord as well. Just like that's a D chord, you've probably played that before. If we take that all, like there's the root note there on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. That's a D. So if we keep that shape and we bring it up to the A here, that's obviously going to be an A chord. Only difference is we bar it like that across the 9th fret, add the 2nd finger to the 10th fret. There's your A chord. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're here. We pluck these 3 strings. You could even strum them however you like. You've got just enough time. Pluck the 3rd string. Pick the 12th fret on the 1st string. So you add your pinky. Then we lift our pinky and we play the 2nd and 1st together like that. Okay, and that's the first 2 bars of what I've got going on here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, just like that. Yeah, you could use a combination of fingers there. I like to rest my 1st, 2nd, and 3rd finger across those strings. That's the Chet Atkins thing. But yeah, it's not super difficult, so you could play around with that. That would be okay. Now, why is this useful for you if you want to come up with your own stuff? If you can work out how to take any chord and move it up the neck using the fundamental notes of that chord, for example, A, C sharp, and E. This is E, here's the A, here's the C sharp, and even that little addition of the note here, that's just an E. They're all just basic notes from an A major chord, okay? You can do that by ear. You know, you might be able to move chords around so you can find the matching chord, but with just some very simple recognition of notes, it's quite easy to move these chords around. So keep it in mind to have a go at that yourself. So that's what's happening over the A chord. Now there's a section in the song in That's Right Mama where he does this, and I haven't transcribed that, but it's very, very simple. It is literally that moment when you put your pinky on the 12. Okay, you just hold that and strum it out. So if I was replicating the song loosely, next part here is where we go to the D chord, and I have simplified this a little bit. So in the original song, it's a little bit more complicated. He works from a D7 and he comes back to the D9, but we're just going to work off the D9. It's very effective if you're playing rockabilly stuff to use this idea. So wherever you've got a D chord, you can pretty much get away with this D9 chord. We pick the 5th string, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd, and then what I do is I pluck the 3rd and then pick the 4th. Usually use my thumb. Like so 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we just pluck 4th, 3rd, and 2nd. So I'll play these 2 bars for you. Okay, just like that. Okay, hopefully that's clear enough. The D9 chord, 5, 4, 5, 5, flatten right across. I probably should have shown you that at the start, my apologies. And then at this point, you could literally, for the 5 chord in the song, you could just replicate that idea. And that's going to sound really good. But if you want to go that little step further, what I've done here, so we do the same thing we did with D, but we move it up 2 frets, okay, for an E9. 1, 2, 3, and 4. But then what you can do, you could flatten the 3rd finger right across so you get all your 7s here. Tap the strings, add the pinky to the 9, lift it back, and just play the 7s again. Or you could really cheat and 1, 2, 3, and 4. Jump over like this, flatten. And yeah, there you go. You could do this with the D9 too. It's kind of, think of it like a chord lick. So we move it up. Okay, then we just return pretty much to that first bar. Okay, so when I say return to that first bar, I kind of glossed over that. Come back to here. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. By the way, adding that pinky makes that an A6 chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whenever we use a number, whenever we say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, or 7, we're talking about a number based on the major scale of whatever that chord is. So, for example, if we happen to throw a B chord in here and we wanted to play a B6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it'll be a B chord, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it'd be a B chord with the 6, okay? That's kind of where we get those labels from. That gets a lot more complicated, but I think that'll do for that detail. So I'll play through that once more, nice and slow. Started working the bass note into there a little bit. That wasn't really my intention, but hopefully you guys get the idea. So I've just transcribed the little sections and then I've played that into a rough replication of the song there. And so just a preview for the next lesson that's coming out. It'll basically be based on the more complex version. So that could be a good way for you to build up, but you might be quite happy with that and work that into your own music. I've seen it in a lot of rockabilly stuff where they've just taken that top bit and they're making it work because they may not have sort of, worked the thumb in, and when you've got a bass going, you can probably get away without it anyway. So there you go, guys. Keep an eye out for the next lesson. Please share this video with people you think might like it, or to forums that might find it useful. It's really hard to get out there on YouTube now with so much stuff, but I do honestly think that I'm putting out half decent content, If you agree, let me know. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.